Ned, Bayer does it again. Bayer Healthcare, my God. I mean, every time you turn around, it's another thing that Bayer has done. It's, recall, we didn't tell the truth on how dangerous the drug was. We lied to the doctors about what the clinical testing was. We lied to the FDA about the clinical testing. We didn't supply the FDA what we were supposed to. We knew people were going to die, but it was a cash cow drug, and we kept it out there anyway. I mean, the stories are endless.
It's just another day in the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah, so what about Yaz? I mean, Yaz, the thing that's so troubling to me about Yaz is this is a contraceptive, and there are all kinds of contraceptives out there.
It's really an amazing story, Pap. The pill's been around since 1960. It's been around for a long time, and it's proven to be very effective and safe. The problem, though, is that these drug companies feel a need to constantly reinvent the pill because they need a drug that's on patent so they can sell it for 10 to 20 times more than the generic alternative.
Now, they were making $2 to $3 billion a year selling this drug. Now, and here's what's really ugly about this. I mean, this is, when you first look at the story, this is what jumps out at you. This was a completely, utterly unnecessary drug. It didn't have to kill anybody, and it's killed tons of people. Now, what they did is they took the drug, and they knew that there's a lot of competition out there for for contraceptives. So they said, what we're going to do is we're going to make this not just a contraceptive. We're going to sell it as an acne drug, and we're going to sell it as a PMS drug. In other words, hell with the fact that Midol's been out there forever, hasn't killed anybody. Hell with the fact that there's applications for acne that doesn't kill anybody. We're going to take I think they marked, the document shows they were looking for 15 to 25-year-olds that they could sell this contraceptive to that ended up killing people. Yeah, how did it kill them?
Well, the way it kills them, unfortunately, all oral contraceptives carry this risk of blood clotting, of strokes. The problem with Yaz and Yasmin is the specific type of hormone it uses. It doubles your risk compared to all these other safer alternatives. And that's exactly, you hit the nail on the head, that's the problem, is that they started selling this drug not as an oral contraceptive, not as a birth control pill, but as something that's going to help you with your acne and with your PMS, whenever they were not allowed to do it, when their own study showed it wouldn't really even treat PMS anyway.
But here's what we know. We know it wasn't just heart attacks and strokes and blood clots. It was benign liver tumors. It was pulmonary embolism. It was gallbladder disease. It was sudden death syndrome. And the point to this case is the drug was completely, utterly unnecessary. The only people that benefited from this drug was Bayer because they made billions of dollars doing it. And I guess the other troubling thing about it is they went out and they had an entire plan. And the plan was to convince the OBGYN that this wasn't a contraceptive. This wasn't just a contraceptive. That if you give this to kids, it's going to clear up their acne. If you give it to women who are having PMS issues, they're not going to have PMS issues. And they knew it simply wasn't true. Their own clinical said that wasn't true. But they created a bigger risk by bringing in people that had safe alternatives that didn't need acne medication because there was plenty of acne medication. It didn't need PMS medication because there was plenty out there. And they all of a sudden start bringing in all these people and increase the risk tremendously.
That's exactly right. The campaign slogan was beyond birth control. And so what they did was they sold it as a PMS medicine. They sold it as an acne medicine. And all these patients who all they needed was a basic oral contraceptive, that if these patients had not seen these advertisements on TV about Yaz, and if they had gone to their doctor and said, I need to be put on the pill, they would have been put on the safer alternative. But because they were inundated with these magazine articles and these advertisements and these TV advertisements and these paid placements and these media spokespersons, these people were going to their doctors and saying, not I want an oral contraceptive, but I want Yaz. I want this popular new pill. And that's exactly what Bayer's marketing was designed to do. In their own marketing study, they knew that if a patient comes into the doctor's office and asks for a drug by name, that 90% of the time that patient will leave that doctor's office with that prescription in their hand. And that's exactly the issue that they focused on.
Okay, this is one time when the FDA was all over. FDA is dysfunctional. I mean, especially under the Bush years, you may as well not even had an FDA. It was completely utterly dysfunctional. But here the FDA at least said, look, what you're doing here is a lie. You're lying to the American public. You have to stop lying to the American public. And the first time they told them, it was around, my memory is around 2006, and they kept lying.
On no less than 5 occasions, the FDA specifically told Bayer that their advertisements were misleading. They overstated the efficacy, they understated the risk, and that it was inappropriate, and they had to cease and desist.
Where does this go? What happens? Are women still taking this stuff?
Well, the funny thing is they've Yaz is coming off a patent, so now they're coming up with their new, I think it's called Bayaz. You've probably seen some advertisements for it recently on TV. I know I have. It's just a new rat trap. They just reinvent the rat trap every 6 or 7 years, and they just change the name, and they just sell it as a different drug when it's essentially the exact same thing, because it's the only way they can justify charging 10 or 20 times the cost of a generic alternative.
Well, now there was a Dutch study. This is amazing to me. The Dutch study was recently published in the British Medical Journal, and it found that there was a more than a 6-fold increase in venous thrombosis. That's a threatening blood clot in women who were taking this product, right?
Yes, sir.
Did they disclose that to the American public, that if you take this, if you take this for your acne, you have more than a 6-fold increase of dying from a venous thrombosis?
No, because they actually invented their own study, which showed, which shouldn't surprise you, actually less risk on their drug compared to other oral contraceptives. But there's lots of problems with their study, and it was clearly designed in such a way so as to mask the risk that's associated with their product. The problem is that you're taking these typically, the patient population of the type of people that are on oral contraceptives, it's healthy young women, not the type of people that are typically associated with disease and health problems. So you're having these 20, 21, 22-year-old girls drop down dead of a stroke while they're out jogging. It's not your typical population of people that are having adverse events from pills.
What's happening with the industry right now, in pharmaceutical industry generally, is the scientists are no longer in charge of the product. It's the marketers. It's Madison Avenue. It's not doctors that making decisions or scientists making decisions on this so much. It's Madison Avenue. Is this any different about this case?
No, it's exactly how it is with Bayer. I mean, the marketing department drives the science. The science is entirely driven by the marketing team. The marketing team says, look, we need to be able to position our drug as A, B, and C. Therefore, you guys need to go out and do a study that proves A, B, and C. And lo and behold, they're able to do it. And I can tell you from seeing their documents that they plan this stuff out years in advance. They have these papers written, and they have the articles targeted and picked out before they ever even name an author.
It's not, is it right? It's not, is it accurate? But you have doctors that, will really, just for $1, put their name on the bottom of it. I say $1. Most of the time they pay them anywhere between $25,000 to $50,000. They take them on, junkets all over the damn place. And then the doctor signs off and says, yeah, this is a safe product. That's typically what we see in the pharmaceutical industry.